back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I'm Tia with Tia and the Beasleys. If you're not familiar with me or my family or my channel, please watch my introduction video. I'll have it linked at the top here as well as in the description box below. But I apologize for my weird raspy voice. I am still getting over being sick. It has been a long journey of yuck. So thankfully the girls haven't really got it. The littlest one, she's got a little bit of a cough, but nowhere near what I had. And so I'm very thankful for that. I just need to get over it. So I'm still working through it. So I'm a little raspy. I may cough a little bit, but I apologize. I sound like I'm going through puberty. I promise you I'm not. Anyway, so as you can see from the title, this is part 2 of my kitchen reorganization, which I'm so excited for because these next couple things are things that I've been wanting to do for a while. I just haven't made time to do them, not had time, made time to do them. So we're going to get started with a couple things. We're gonna do the spices, and I got some more jars just to kind of put the spices in for some of the larger spices, and then I have little jars for some of the little smaller amounts of spices. So I'm going to take everything out of my spice cabinet and kind of reorganize it, relabel everything, make sure everything looks pretty and clean because it looks like a complete disaster in there right now. And then we are just going to kind of organize where all the girls' snacks are on our little breakfast bar. And then we are going to tackle the Ziploc bag drawer, which is also, for some reason, really unorganized, which is so not like me, but we've just slowly started shoving things in there. So kind of like a second junk drawer almost. And so it really needs to be addressed. And then we're going to tackle the much needed junk drawer, which should be fun. So with all of that on our plate, let's go ahead and get started. So I started with just organizing the shelves on the island, and I pulled everything out and put it on top so that I could see what we had and how I wanted to organize it, where everything was going to fit nicely, and kind of just organized everything basket by basket with different snacks. I put snacks for the kids in different baskets. There's a basket for what we call tongue food, which is food that basically isn't that good for you, but it tastes good. And then we have brain food, which is gonna be the food that is better for you, that's going to help you be more nutritious. So we kind of separate those into those categories so that when the kids ask for a snack, I can tell them sort of what category they can choose from, depending upon kind of what they've eaten throughout the day or what our plan is for the rest of the day. So that's kind of how we do our organization of snacks and different things like that, but also so that there's enough room for them to be able to grab their own snacks. Araya kind of likes to just make a mess with them, but Maya does have the ability to grab them and grab what she wants. I like keeping our cereal in these bins because then I can see how much we have and what we need. As you can see, the Rice Krispies were already open, and so by the time they made their way into the tub, they were practically gone. So it did look a little silly to kind of fill it up like 1/4 of the way, but it does help me keep an eye on what we have and what we need. So then that way when I go grocery shopping, I have an idea. I also decided to reorganize it a little bit to include all of the food at the top and then the crock pots and different cooking things that don't fit in my cabinets on the bottom. That way it just made it look a little easier and more organized and cleaner. There is also a basket of toys that you can see on the bottom shelf. Araya does have a basket of toys in the kitchen. That way when she's done eating, I can let her play in the kitchen while I finish whatever I'm doing, whether it be cooking or picking up after dinner or something along those lines. So it just kind of gives her a basket she can grab and play with her toys in the kitchen while I finish up what I'm doing. So next on the list was to tackle this much needed Ziploc bag drawer, and we've kind of just slowly shoved different things in here over and over again. So the first thing that I did was just take everything out of it so I could see what we had, and that way I could vacuum out the drawer. And then I was able to put the baskets in and start to reorganize it the way to make it look pretty. So I organized them based on size. I put the quart size ones in one basket, the half-gallon ones in one basket, and then I put my reusable bags and my large bags in the black basket in the front. And then I kept the sandwich bags and snack bags just in their boxes next to the baskets. That just made it easier for me to grab them right out of the box. It just kept them more organized that way. And then I put all of our saran wrap and different things like that underneath our tin foil. So then that way it kind of just kept everything pushed down. And then our couple lunch bags that we have went underneath that black basket as well. You can see that I changed my mind a couple times trying to figure out the best way to get everything to fit, which I think is one of the things I like about organizing. It's a big puzzle trying to make sure that everything fits the way you want it and looks the way you want it. Now on to the project that I was most excited for, is doing the spice cabinet. As you can see, everything was just crammed in there. You can't see what anything is. You couldn't see what you had and didn't have. So the first thing that I did just was take everything out and dropped some things along the way. but I took everything out so that I could reorganize it. I vacuumed out the cabinets just so they were nice and clean, and then I got started with repackaging them into the jars. I will have all of these jars as well as the labels linked down in the description box below, but I've had these labels for a really long time. I actually bought them on Amazon when I was pregnant with Araya because I wanted to be able to label her baby food when I brought it to the daycare. I made all of her baby food, so I would put it in a glass container and bring it to the daycare. So I labeled them. So that's what I initially bought these labels for, but now I'm able to use the rest of them for our jars, and it works out perfectly. It's just a chalkboard pen, so it's really easy to write with, and it turns out very clean and looks very nice.
Small town, big crowd, and there you were in front of me.
This project was definitely so satisfying for me to get everything to look the same and universal. I did use 2 separate jars. I used some larger jars for some of the stuff that we had a lot of, and then I used the smaller jars for things that we didn't need a really large container for, but everything was the same size and the same sort of look, which is something that my OCD really loves. Although it was a complete mess, I made a mess the entire time I was doing this. As you can see here, there was spices everywhere. as you can see on the labels as well, I made sure to write the expiration dates as well as what it was for each spice. So you can see me looking at the jars after trying to find the expiration dates. Some of the jars that was really hard to find the expiration dates. Some of them were a little bit easier depending on the brand and the jar, but I wrote all of the expiration dates down just so that I knew when everything expired. I didn't keep any of the jars except the ones that were overflow that still had things in them. So then that way I had less clutter and less that I had to store, but I did still want to make sure that I knew when everything expired. So when I was putting everything back into the cabinet, I organized them kind of based on what spices I used the most often. The ones I use the most often, I put in the front on the bottom, and then the things that I use less often would go in the back or on the top shelves. So then that way, the ones that I really needed or really wanted, I could just grab quickly that are right in my sight and my vision. But of course, all of them were labeled and facing the right way so I could see what we had and I could see everything that we needed or didn't need or what I could use for that specific recipe.
I'd run 1,000 miles if I could run with you. And from what I have heard, you do the same thing too.
So then the next thing I did was put all of my flours and sugar and things like that in these jars. I got 4 of the large jars for the stuff that we had a lot of, the flour, the powdered sugar, different things like that. And then I got 3 smaller jars for a few of the things that didn't need the super large jars. I think that this part made a much bigger mess than the actual spices. I had flour, baking soda, and powdered sugar all over me by the end of this. So you can see by the end of the video how much white is all over my black pants.
Just say the word. Oh. Whatever we would do, we do it just for fun. You only get so many trips around the sun. I wanna say forever, we could be good together. Guess mystery loves company. Better to late than never.
I did the same thing with these. I just labeled on the top of the lid what it was and then the expiration date so that I knew for sure when everything expired.
Know is that I need you in my life. Let me show you how it feels to roll the dice. You know you want it. Just say the word. Everywhere we go, we'll turn to paradise. All I know is that I need you in my life. Let me show you how it feels to roll the dice. You know you want it. Just say the word.
Then with my powdered sugar covered pants, I went ahead and put the jars of flour and brown sugar and all of those back into the cabinet. I put them on the top shelf just because we use them a little less often. And then you can see everything on the very top. That's all just overflow. That's the larger spices that we had in the large jars, the extra flour, powdered sugar. So as the other ones run low, I will refill them based on the overflow that's at the very top. You can't really see them, nor do I use any of that up there anyway, with being as short as I am. So that's a good place to store it. So then I went ahead to tackle the junk drawer. What a mess. I don't know where all this stuff came from, why it's all in here, but it was so satisfying to get this done. And now every time I open the drawer, I feel so much better and feel like it is just so clean.
Let it go, take a chance. I will show you how to dance on the floor, lose control. You'll be moving like a trance. Hey! Feel the music all around. Move your body to the sound. City boy, come on. Roll the world to the break of dawn.
But this just makes my organizing brain so happy.
Put your hands up in the air. Put your hands up in the air.
So now that I'm done with all the organizing, I'm just gonna go ahead and start cleaning the kitchen just to make it all nice and sparkling. I started by washing a couple dishes that were in the sink and putting them to dry or loading them into the dishwasher depending on what it was. There wasn't very many. I had kept up with it that day, so it wasn't a whole lot of dishes, but I needed to do that before I could wipe everything down.
We don't care. Put your hands up.
I am sadly out of my favorite method spray. I am going to be getting some on my shopping trip this week, but I was using this bleach spray, which is actually something that we probably needed just because everybody's kind of been fighting the flu bugs the last few weeks. So getting some bleach spray probably is going to help. So I just sprayed everything down and wiped it all down just to kind of get everything nice and clean, get all the spices and the food and the crumbs and everything that I had left behind in all of my organization out of the way so that it was nice and sparkly and clean.
There must be more. There must be another way. There must be conscious. Different things in different ways. There must be love. There must be a reason. And a little bit of faith has got to come my way.
Then I went ahead and vacuumed up my spice mess, my flour mess, my baking soda mess, everything that I've just caused a huge mess in the kitchen. I vacuumed it all up. Normally I would mop the floor as well, but I ran out of time. I had to go get Maya from the bus stop. So I was just vacuuming this day, and then I mopped the following day. But I at least got all of the crumbs up and the spices and the sugar and everything that was on the floor.
Don't let them tell you what you feel or who you are. Oh, there must be more. There must be another way. There must be conscious. Different things in different ways. There must be love. There must be a reason. And a little bit of faith has got to come my way. I gave it all to you for too
Alright guys, well that will conclude the video for today. I just wanted to hop on here. I did the whole kitchen and got everything done as you guys saw. And now I am in my car waiting at the bus stop for Maya to get out of school. And then we are going to go to her dentist appointment and then go get her sister. So I just wanted to hop on here really quick and end the video for today and say thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel and become part of my YouTube family. And I will post a video every Monday for Motivation Monday to kind of get you guys through the week, whether it be cleaning, decluttering, a little bit of both. I'm going to do some more reviews, some products on, some reviews on products for baby products and kid products and things like that. The one thing that I do want to say was probably the most satisfying for me, aside from those spices, I really enjoyed that. I probably should have got smaller jars. The jars that I got were a little too big, so they didn't fit as pretty as I would have wanted them to in the cabinet. But that's okay. It will have to just do. But I think the most satisfying for me is definitely the junk drawer. It was amazing to get done. It was so cramped packed that I could barely close it because every time I close it, something would get in the way. So I'm so glad that that's done. And I'm so glad that it's finally clean. If you guys do that, please tag me in your videos so that I can see it as well. It's kind of like a junk drawer challenge. I'm sure everyone has their struggles with their junk drawer, and I would love to hear yours as well, or see your videos. If there's anything that you guys want to see out of my channel or my content, please comment below. I would love to know what else I can do to keep you guys interested. And if not, I will talk to you guys next Monday for Motivation Monday. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope that this gave you some motivation to get you through the rest of the week. Happy organizing. Bye guys.